Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Gaming Mix podcast, your official podcast from analogstickgaming.com. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jordan, one of the co-owners of Analog Stick Gaming, and to my right, as always, we have the founder himself, Jeff. How are you doing, Jeff?
Doing pretty good. Haven't been up for too terribly long, but
I mean, yeah, it's early mornings for you. But I feel like at this point, for people who don't know you, you're quite used to getting up early in the morning.
Oh yeah, I mean I get up at like fucking like 5:20 pretty much every morning. So
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. But yes, we have an interesting episode today because I believe that we're going to do our Game Awards predictions, right? Later in the episode.
I mean that's what the thumbnail says. So
Yeah, but before that, if you don't know, we are also big wrestling fans, and we want to talk about some wrestling because, as we mentioned on the previous episode, we are coming towards the end of John Cena's career, and this past Monday was his final Monday Night Raw appearance.
Yeah.
But there were a few interesting things that happened on Monday Night Raw, so why don't we get into it, Jeff?
Yeah. So one match that I was kind of disappointed in because, going into John Cena's last tournament, the speculation and the rumors were that Gunther was going to be John Cena's final opponent. And so far, it seems like that's going to be the case as he beat Javon Evans. Like, this would have been an amazing match for Javon Evans to kind of get an upset, to kind of put the dirt sheets to kind of rest. And Javon Evans did a fantastic job in this match. He's never been one that I've really watched to be entertained by, but he did a remarkable job at convincing me there.
He was actually very good, and if anything, I would say that he was the thing that made that match good. I don't think it was Gunther that made that match good. So, yeah, good job to him. Good chance for him to showcase his skills on a slightly bigger stage than he's had so far. So yeah.
And we've also had Becky Lynch for the past couple months making the Intercontinental title look really good. That it's a title to be fought for, unlike the U.S. Championship on SmackDown.
Yeah.
No, and like Becky's had this good little rivalry going with Maxine Dupree, who's been getting trained by Natalya. And there's been a lot of just really good back and forth between the two. And due to an interruption through AJ Lee, Maxine Dupree did a crossbody off the top rope and secured the pin and won her first pinfall or first singles championship in the WWE. Ahead of Chad Gable, which is pretty funny. But she did really, really good. And like 5 or 6 matches before, I would say Maxine Dupree was just good for a manager type of thing and stuff like that. But she's been doing remarkable for her training and in the ring.
You can see that she is improving a lot. And I think that clearly there's a passion there for her to, because she had some previous training anyway. I believe that she was actually trained by Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze once upon a time at their wrestling school. And then I think that was her sort of initial training, because Charlotte did a tweet recently saying about how when she saw her at that wrestling school years ago, she knew that she had potential kind of thing, and she congratulated her on winning and everything.
It was
so yeah, it's good to see her sort of coming into her own and becoming even better over time. That's really good to see.
It'll be interesting to see how good her run is, just because like that belt has been kind of made prestigious. It's been almost made to be almost more prestigious than the women's title, like the main one.
Yeah, in a way I would agree with that, because it's just more consistently been in storylines and had more interactions around it in recent months. So yeah, I would actually strongly agree with that at the moment.
Yeah, because then at Survivor Series we have a filler match between Stephanie Becker and Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Which came out of like, you want to say nowhere, but everyone was expecting, and then she's like, it was so funny because like she turned heel and then she like took her one top off and it had a black top. It's like, ooh, she's evil now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, look, I'm all for them using. I'm never against part timers, and I never have been, because I think that they do offer something in the way of helping to make new stars and things like that.
Yeah.
But Stephanie Vacker doesn't need this match against Nikki Bella. You know, like.
No. And I love how, like, leading up to it, they're like, oh, this friendship, this amazing friendship between Stephanie Vacker and Nikki Bella. Like, no one was buying the friendship.
No.
Like, absolutely no one.
And it's not like it's something that's been going on for a year and then all of a sudden, you know, it's just like, it's only really been going on for a couple of months here. like
2 weeks, pretty much.
Yeah.
We also had Solo Sikoa versus Dolph Ziggler, which was a kind of an interesting return. I mean, it wasn't Nick Nemeth, it was Dolph Ziggler, so they were reaching into the WWE vault, same thing as they did with Zack Ryder.
Yeah. Did you see though? So on that note, before we get too far into Dolph Ziggler, because you mentioned Zack Ryder there, some people were complaining about the fact that he came back as Zack Ryder. Even though on NXT he was Matt Cardona, and what he basically said on Twitter was his real fans didn't care. They were just happy to see him back on the main roster. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what his name is.
I think it's when you
people
have
know what he's capable
more
of.
Eyes. Because WWE is going to have more eyes on it than NXT, so a lot of the outside base of WWE
and also the story of NXT at the moment is about NXT against TNA. You know, so it makes more sense for him to play his TNA character in NXT. unless he's gonna switch allegiances one day and now come back to NXT as, oh, now I'm Zack Ryder because I'm actually on the WWE team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's like both kind of appearances are really good. I mean, both are amounting to really, it's just a one-off. There's no talks to bring in.
But I think that was a nice way to do it, right? And I think it's nice because also it does show that both of those wrestlers have been able to make a big name for themselves outside of WWE. Because, for example, Zack Ryder, the reaction he got on his return was probably bigger than any reaction I'd ever heard him have during his original WWE run. So this is brilliant stuff.
I do wish that one of these would have gone through to, like,
I agree.
The next thing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
because also both of their opponents are not going to win this tournament. So what difference does it make, right?
Yeah.
Like that's my thing.
I would have had, if Gunther was supposed to have win this thing, I would have had the final be Gunther versus Javon Evans, and have Javon Evans go through, like, you know, to kind of show that talent. Because like, now we don't have an NXT guy against John Cena. So,
yeah. It's a shame because I don't know. Look, it's John Cena's final match, so I'm happy with whatever, right? Because I'm sure it'll be a great send-off. But I still don't feel like Gunther is the right choice. I really don't. I think
honestly, of the people that are involved with it right now, I'd almost rather see Sheamus, just because then he can become a Grand Slam champion.
I agree. But of course, we do have a match between John Cena and Dominic Mysterio coming up very soon.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that, like, 3 of the last like 4 matches are going to involve Dom in some way. Because like, I mean, he's all for putting up new talent. So we had John Cena, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus versus Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. So they kind of put all of the Judgment Day stuff on hold, like the storyline stuff that they've been working with Finn on hold for this. And like, it was sort of weird for Sheamus to come out of just nowhere, because like, yeah, I mean, Rey Mysterio, I get it, you know, that works there. But yeah, like it is kind of disappointing that John Cena's last match was this 6-man tag where he's in it for like 2 minutes. But like, because I would have preferred almost like a one-on-one like fight or something like that, like something to kind of.
I agree. Like for his
Square Garden.
For his final Raw appearance, I feel like they could have made it bigger. Like, it was still good.
Well, this felt like a house show.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of play to, fan service.
Like, in my mind, it's almost like they should have actually had him win the Intercontinental belt. I understand why they did it where they did it, obviously.
Well, it's smart, yeah. It's like he wins it on his turn. And then putting it at San Diego against Dom is on his turf. And like timing-wise, that's a really good story.
Yeah. But at the same time, I almost feel like they should have. I think they made a mistake, because I think they should have worked it out in a way that either the Raw in Boston was Cena's final Raw appearance, or you have him win the belt at Madison Square Garden instead. But then that makes less sense story-wise. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It did feel kind of wasted to have this 6-man tag. Like it almost could have just been like John Cena and Rey Mysterio versus Dom and Finn.
Yeah.
Or JD McDonough, whatever. Like,
so do you know what I would have liked to see them do? Because Cena's known for this, especially when he was US champion, right? Have a final John Cena Open Challenge, like where he just does an open challenge for the belt, and he doesn't even have to lose. But at that point, you have so many options, because you could have brought in Joe Hendry for that small match with John Cena that he wanted before Cena retires. You could have brought in anybody. You know, you could have had R-Truth again. You could have had there's literally so many options of what you could have done if you did an open challenge. And I just think that would have been probably a better way to send it off in terms of his final standard appearance on TV for them. So
yeah, it definitely could have been more entertaining. Like, it was still a good match. Like, don't get me wrong, it was still fun. But I mean, like, this would have been a fun match earlier in his retirement tour than something that is closing the gap there.
I agree. Like, this would have been a fun match to lead to the small rivalry between him and Dom, right? Like, this would have been. This almost feels like the setup to the rivalry, rather than something you have in the middle of the rivalry. Like, it's just a little bit weird. But that isn't all that happened on Monday Night Raw. Should we talk about some more of it?
I mean, a lot of it was basically just kind of setting up the final teams and stuff. So now we had like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and stuff. They've closed up the 5 men on each side of their teams and stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting close to finalizing the teams for the women. That'll be done on SmackDown, likely. So we're going to see AJ Lee joining Rhea Ripley's side there, and then Becky Lynch obviously is going to join the side of everyone else. I would say Lash Legend is hitting people way too hard, and like I know it's probably like she's getting really close, but she is just like laying them out way harder of a hit than I think she needs to. Interesting observation. Just watch her hit people. It almost seems like it's just way too brutal. But yeah, so we've had those teams kind of done up because like AJ Lee was there and Rhea's like, hey, we need to talk. And obviously that's going to put her on that
And I
side.
mean, it was obvious, right? Because AJ's obviously, she had disappeared for a little while because she has other commitments and things.
Yeah.
Like she's an award-winning writer. She's involved in making horror movies and things like that. So she is a busy person, but I think that any time that she comes back, she's going to be involved, right? And it's so it kind of makes sense. I like the way they did it. It was a nice way of like set up her rivalry with Becky continuing by having her help Maxine win the belt, basically. I think it all made sense. I do find it interesting because I wasn't sure they were going to continue her rivalry with Becky.
Speaking of the rivalry, did you see Becky's tweets and Instagram messages and stuff following?
No,
Maxine?
I didn't.
So Becky is doing this thing now where she's almost like WWE Unreal type of like playing into it. And she was like, how did they know to play her music? How did Maxine know? Like they were all in on it and stuff, like almost as if it was scripted.
That's like actually funny. That's funny.
It's really funny. Yeah, this character that Becky's playing is so funny. Her like leading into that there's like some conspiracy against her and stuff like that. This paranoid Becky Lynch is fantastic.
That's actually really good. I do like that. That's good. But yeah, I think, this was a good overall. This was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. I think that the men's War Games teams rounded out exactly how we expected. I haven't decided which side of that equation I think is going to win, because I actually think it could go either way. And I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet the other day which was like, who's going to eat the pinfall? And my thing was, well, if the Roman Reigns team wins, I think Logan Paul takes the pinfall to lose. If the other team wins, I think that's why Jimmy Uso's in the match to take the pinfall.
I initially thought that, but I think honestly, if Brock's and Braun, and if their team wins, I think Brock Lesnar pins Punk.
Really? Oh, okay.
And then
because I guess that's the thing, is like, now that Seth isn't around, they need someone else to be the rival for Punk, right?
And I think it'll be Brock versus Punk at Rumble. And I think something will happen to allow Punk to still win, because I think they're still going to need him for Mania. Because I agree. Put Brock in Mania.
No, I don't. And also, the thing about Brock at Mania is you can have Brock on Mania in a big match without him having the belt. Like, he doesn't need the belt to have a big marquee match, because he's Brock Lesnar, He's
see, like I mean, obviously it won't happen this way, but you could have Brock taking on Punk at Rumble, and then basically what happens is Braun Breaker comes in and he goes to like spear Punk, but ends up spearing Brock.
Yeah.
And then you set up Brock and Braun at Mania.
That would actually be really cool. That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, because I'm starting to, we'll get into it more in the new year and everything, but it's that time of year now where I'm starting to think, who's going to win the Rumble this year? Who's it going to be? Which way are they going to go? What are they going to do? Part of me feels like they might.
It's going to be Sami Zayn.
Part of me feels like they might go with LA Knight.
Yeah.
But but that's just an early prediction from me. But I'm sure that the picture will become clearer after Survivor Series, which we are sure to round up in a couple of weeks' time here.
Yeah, next weekend.
We will see. We will see how it goes. But for now, we have gaming to get to. However, before we get to the gaming, I believe we have a word from our sponsor, Jeff.
Yeah, the Gaming Mix is brought to you by NordVPN. Protect yourself from numerous online threats, secure your passwords, and browse a wealth of region-locked content at a crazy low price. Visit nordvpn.com/analogstickgaming today.
Fantastic. Now, we have some news stories today. Obviously, we will get to the Game Awards later as we lead into our main topic of the show and main feature. But what other news do we have to go through today, Jeff?
Sure. So we've got 31 developers have been laid off from Avalanche Liverpool as the studio confirms it is now closed. Earlier this year, Avalanche Liverpool announced that it had entered a collective consultation process as required by UK law. It has now been announced that the studio has closed and that 31 employees have been let go. A new statement posted to the firm's website on November 19th reads, "As we announced earlier this fall, we initiated a collective consultation process regarding the proposed closure of our Liverpool studio. We can now confirm that this process has concluded, that the studio has closed, and that we have parted ways with 31 people. The exceptional talent, passion, and commitment from everyone leaving here has impacted every project. We are truly grateful for the dedication and invaluable contributions to Avalanche Studios Group. Our focus remains on supporting the Avalanchers through the transition and to carry on making great games for our player communities. Avalanche is best known for the studio behind the Just Cause series, and Contraband was set to offer a co-op open world set in the 1970s. So this, we knew that Avalanche had closed and that this was just a formality.
Yes.
But it kind of sucks that that this studio, who has such an impact on a lot of open world games.
Absolutely. And also, it's quite funny because I actually purchased the Just Cause 3 and 4 on Steam the other day because Steam have their Black Friday sale on right now, much like many of the other platforms. And it wasn't until looking back at Just Cause 3 and 4 that I went, these guys were doing things that no other game has done even today. Like, they were doing things with their open world and their gameplay systems that were very unique, and I do think had a lasting effect on what open worlds have become in many ways.
Yeah, especially the ones where you're kind of like just pulling off shenanigans, really. Like, it's those types of games and stuff. And the Just Cause games were great. I mean, the last one that I played, I didn't particularly love. I think it was just because I was kind of worn out on that end of it. But, that studio has like an amazing pedigree for that kind of stuff. And now they're gone. I mean, we're going to see like that team split up. So we're not going to really see a contained version of something come out that has their stamp on it.
I mean, my hope would be, and obviously there's no guarantees that this would happen, but we know, for example, that when a lot of the CD Projekt Red team left after Cyberpunk's release, a lot of them actually ended up going and making their own studios, and they're working on their own things. So I do wonder whether some of these developers might actually get together and try and start their own thing, and if they do, we'll certainly be reporting on it and keeping an eye on these people, because as Jeff says, like, they've created brilliant games, so these people know what they're doing and they're good at their jobs, and hopefully they land on their feet and find some work somewhere, or they find the ability to do their own studio and have their own project. Because I'm always open to more studios in this gaming landscape. But what else do we have on the news today, Jeff?
So we were talking about this last week, and now we've got some clarification on some stuff here. Valve's newest announced Steam machine will be priced like a PC rather than like a console. That's according to a Valve spokesperson who spoke to Linus Tech Tips during a reveal event. According to Linus Sebastian, which this likely means that the Steam firm won't take a hit on production costs in order to reproduce consumer prices like companies like PlayStation and Xbox have done in the past. Currently, PS5 retails for about $500 to $550 US, but in the PS Pro retailing for about $750. The Xbox X starting from $600. Both platform holders have raised their prices this year. Valve wasn't able to give any specific numbers due to the rapidly evolving market conditions, but they will obviously have it nailed down when the Steam Machine launches in Q1 of 2026, along with the new Steam controller, Sebastian said. They did offer me one hint, though. They said that while they expected to be very competitively priced with a PC, it will be priced like a PC rather than like a console, with games subsidizing the upfront hardware purchase. They wouldn't say why, but if I had to guess, I would say it's partially to avoid stepping on the margin opportunities of their potential partners for Steam games and Steam software, but also because they recognize that the Steam Machine is a full-fledged PC.
Yeah, so, and to further add to this a second before we get into what we think of this news, there was actually a rumor floating around the social media ether today from several sources that the price of the Steam Machine might be $750 US dollars, which would put it into that PC pricing bracket, but it would also be a much cheaper PC for what it's actually capable of compared to some other offerings out there. Like, so it's, you know, it's one of those things where it's half a dozen of one and 2 dozen of the other, you know. It's just like it's at the end of the day, I unfortunately think the time of tech companies and hardware manufacturers subsidizing costs for the consumer to get more devices out there and then make up their money on the software in the back end, I think those days are gone, because what they're seeing is a lot of people are not buying new hardware. They're sticking with their old hardware longer, even if the price is lower, right? Like, look at the consoles this generation. We've still got, like, Xbox still have something like 40 million people actively playing Xbox Ones every month. PlayStation still have millions and millions of people playing on their PS4s every month.
Yeah, it's been a very weird transition, and I think mainly just because, like, in a lot of ways there haven't been compelling reasons to kind of leave that hardware behind.
I agree.
With cost. So it is a very, very weird.
And I mean, look, there are factors for that. Obviously, cost of living has risen massively, and the price of manufacturing things has also risen massively because of the COVID pandemic and the fallout of that situation, and tariffs and everything else.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is why we see companies not announcing prices either, because quite frankly, by the time this machine comes out, the world economy is so volatile right now that within 3 months we could be in a completely different situation. And by the time this machine comes out, they might decide to price it differently than what they're thinking the price is today, right? And I think that's the exact reason that we see companies like Xbox and PlayStation for the first time ever this generation, instead of putting their prices down, they've actually put their prices up. So it's just, we're in a really weird economic time right now, and I think we'll see where this goes. You know, I hope, what I will say is, if they're pricing it like a PC, I think that's okay, as long as they don't go too far. Because yes, it is a fully fledged PC. You can use it for playing games, but you can also use it for photo editing, video editing, because you could put Windows on this thing, right?
Yeah.
And we do know from from places like Digital Foundry that this is a reasonably powerful device. Like it's as powerful as roughly it's almost as powerful as roughly what like a Series X would be, for example. I think they said it's slightly less powerful than that, but it's significantly more powerful than a Series S, right? So, and if that's the case, if we look at the price of the Series X right now, that's around $600, I believe. Obviously, they're on sale, but you know, it is what it is. It's six. So if they do go at around $750 for this, for this device, then I think that isn't a problem. Like, I actually think that will still be something that people will look at and go, oh, I can get like a gaming PC that will allow me to do all these other things for $750.
And it's also got like incredible like emulation capability, same as the Steam Deck.
Absolutely.
So you would have a ton of stuff essentially to kind of play on it. And I think if Steam kind of markets it the same way as like the Steam Deck, you know, I think that they could have an incredible device here. It just has to be priced to a point where people can kind of see that value.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Okay. I think, you know, it could be interesting to see. I hope that they don't go too high, because what I will say is if they go too high with this price, then they do risk the device being dead on arrival.
Yeah, like if they go higher than $750 US, I think that's going to cannibalize everything.
Especially with Xbox seemingly gearing up to do their own, what I would imagine is much more powerful version of this kind of device. Like, and if they're going at around, let's say, $1,000 US, and you're offering and you're charging more than $750, but theirs is much more powerful, at that point, why would people buy yours, right? Like, they might as well buy the other one. You know, it's so it's going to be a really interesting time, and I can't wait to see. And if I can get my hands on one, because I'm going to try doing so, then I'm sure we will cover it on the website. But, you know, you'll have to stay tuned to this YouTube channel and to analogstickgaming.com to see if that happens. But for now, what we have up next in the news, Jeff?
Alrighty. An indie developer has taken the unprecedented step to withdraw their game from the Game Awards after they said it was incorrectly nominated for Best Debut Indie Game. Vetinad, the solo developer of Vampire Survivor style like roguelike Megabonk, shared the news on game social channels today on Tuesday, noting that they previously worked on games under a different name, so they feel their nomination shouldn't qualify. I'm withdrawing from the Game Awards, they wrote. It's an honor and a dream for Megabonk to be nominated for TGA, but unfortunately, I don't think it qualifies for the category Debut Indie Game. They've added, I've made games in the past under a different studio name, so Megabonk is not my debut game. At the time of publications, Megabonk is still listed as Best Debut Indie Game nominee on the Game Awards website. Organizers say the category is for recognizing an independent studio that produced and shipped its first game in 2025. Now, there has been an update as well, too, that Jeff Keighley has responded to it and said, thank you very much for your honesty, and we will, you know, pull the nominee. Because I think, this could have clapped back on him saying, with people saying, like, hey, it wasn't his actual debut indie game. But that hasn't stopped a lot of other teams before in the past.
True. Very good point. But I think that, you know, it's interesting because firstly, I wonder whether the reason that he came out and said the truth was because he was worried of like what might happen if he won and then people found out later. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, if you've made games before, why would you all of a sudden try and make out like this is your debut game, you know? Like, well, especially if
incorrectly nominated, so he didn't actually put the nomination in for that category.
No, I know, I understand that, but he has made this game under a different name, which suggests that he's trying to represent himself, at least to the public, as a new studio or a new developer, right?
Yeah.
And now he's not able to do that because he's had to come out and say, do you know what? Actually, this isn't my first ever game. So I think it's an interesting case. I like that the person has been able to kind of stand up and be like, do you know what? No, this isn't right. My game should not be nominated in this category.
And like, my brain goes in different ways a lot of times. I try and see like different sides of it. So think of it this way. All right, so let's say Mega Bonk would have won. The publicity would have been pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Fairly okay. But what's going to get you more publicity?
Yeah, true.
Out of the Game Awards.
Yeah, because no one's ever done that before, right?
Right. So the publicity that he's going to get from this announcement, I think, is more than he would have ever got.
Yeah, probably, especially because it's one of the, and with no disrespect to these games, but it's one of the smaller awards that is given out on the show, right?
You know, like they come up and they do 3 awards, and they're like, all right, now we're going to go to like freaking like our toilet paper ad.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that unfortunately gets sort of skipped over. So yeah, that sucks. But talking about the Game Awards, Jeff, should we reveal to people, before we get into our main feature of our predictions, should we reveal the nominees to people?
Well, we could kind of do it at the same time.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Here we go.
So I'm going to start from the very bottom, just because then we can get to Game of the Year at the end.
Yeah, no problem.
So these ones here. So we have Best Esports Team. The nominees are Gen G, League of Legends, NRG, Valorant, Team Falcons, Dota 2, Team Liquid PH, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, Team Vitality, Counter-Strike 2. Normally, it's usually been Counter-Strike 2 or League of Legends that have generally taken these.
Yes, I agree. So we should clarify to people before we do this. So this is the first award, but before we give our predictions, we should clarify, because we've done this a few years now, but if you're new here, which you might be because our audience is fast growing lately, we should clarify that basically the way we do this is myself and Jeff both predict who we think is going to win. And then based on those winners, we get points. And whichever one of us wins in this predictions come the Game Awards time, will get the deciding vote on our Game of the Year rankings if we end up with ties in any sort of situation.
And this will also be the last year that it's just you and me.
Yes, that is true.
So next year we're going to be having Rebecca, Kelvin, Letitia, and possibly, was it James?
James, yes.
In these discussions and stuff, just because. Oh, hold on.
Jeff is getting a phone call mid-podcast.
Yeah, I just shut it off. So yeah, like it's going to be a little bit more interesting next year when we've got pretty much everything.
There's going to be more variety because we have, if you don't know, as Jeff just mentioned, all of the people, we have actually expanded our team quite a bit this year. And we have several people now helping us out with reviews and things.
Yeah,
so,
and they will have their say on their top 10 and how it affects kind of the game of the year landscape.
Definitely.
That it's not just a one-sided thing. Oh, I got a voicemail. Fun.
Definitely. But let's get back to these nominees and our predictions. Do you want to repeat those nominees one more time, Jeff, before we make our decision?
All right. So best esports team, we have Gen G, NRG, Team Falcons, Team Liquid PH, or Team Vitality.
I would go with Gen G here. That's my gut feeling.
Written as well, Jordan. All right. Mainly just because I think League of Legends is still going to be the dominant force. I kind of wish it was Team Gingy, Burnt Peanut, and Officer from Escape from Tarkov. I would vote for that in a heartbeat. All right. Best esports athlete. We have Brock, Chovy, Forsaken, Kakaru, Mina RD, and Zai Wu. So we have so basically the first and third one are Valorant. The second one was League of Legends, and then we have Street Fighter for the fourth and fifth, and then Counter-Strike 2 at the end.
I mean, I didn't know that Brock Lesnar was a.
Who knows?
You know,
Brock
so
Lesnar, Summer
I'll go with him.
Okay, so we're gonna put you there. I have no idea who any of these people are. But
I don't either. So these ones, to give people a bit of history, these ones are normally complete guesses from us. Like we just like the esports ones. We're not really in that scene. Like we know some of the fighting game people, but we're not really into esports
like
too much.
If Gingy or Cloaksy or something were on there and stuff, I would know.
Yeah.
But you know, even if like Shad was on there and the other nominee was Expedition 33, I would probably vote for Expedition 33. Alrighty. We're a minority, Jordan. We gotta look out.
Did you see? I'm sorry, we have to take a quick tangent. Did you see Shroud's reaction to the fact that Arc Raiders didn't even get nominated?
No, I haven't.
Oh god!
Was he just like, what? And screaming?
Brilliant! It's brilliant. I mean, the guy has become a meme at this point. But let's continue with the nominations.
Nice, that's so funny. Best esports game. We have Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant. I'm still going to go with League of Legends. I think the pull that has on that category is massive.
To be different for the sake of being different, I'm going to say Valorant.
Valorant? Okay. Oh, I don't know what is going on. Okay, I'm going to bold these when I'm not streaming. Because it is. Because
yes, Jeff is noting down our predictions, so don't worry. But if you want to also note them in the comments or anything like that, feel free. Share your predictions with us as well.
Some markers.
Because we may or may not do a live stream reaction to the Game Awards again. And if we don't do a live reaction, what we might do is kind of record our reaction and then put it up later. We'll figure something out.
All right. So, hold on. I'm going to set this up so that I can see our camera feeds as well, too.
No problem. Jeff's still using his very slow laptop.
Yeah. If any PC companies want to send me a gaming PC, I will.
Yeah, Steam.
I will blaze it up the ass. There we go. All right. Content Creator of the Year. We have Kadril, Kai Sinet, Moist Critical, Sakura Miko, and my choice, The Burnt Peanut. Dude's on fire. He can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean...
well, literally, he is on fire because he's a burnt peanut.
Yeah, true. Very good. Mr. Silly. I do... Oh... I'm caught in two minds. Like, I don't know. Are you sure you're sticking with your choice, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
Some of my votes are going to be what I want, not what I think.
Yeah. So okay, let me finish here. I would love to go the same as you because that's what I'd like to see. I'm gonna go based on the fact that not only is he a content creator, but I think he does a good performance in Dispatch. I'm gonna go with Moist Critical.
Okay.
Because I can see potentially the jury sort of thinking, like, do you know what? He did well in this game.
Is most of these guys were up for like the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Burnt Peanut's brand new. He's just got this fire behind him right now.
He is like literally blown up, especially with Arc Raiders. Like he's been around for a while, But with the rise of Arc Raiders, he has just become next level. Like, he's telling people to go and kill the queen and he'll let them live. He's like that.
Oh my god. Have you heard his cousin song?
No, I have not, but I will check it out after we record.
Oh my god. Me and Becky were in tears laughing. Oh my god. My stomach hurt. But I'm going to send you the version that you have to listen to. It's on a Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay where everyone's like, "Hey, Peanut, I heard about the song." He's like, "Well, I didn't write it." "Oh, no. It was Kanye."
Well, what I want to say is, if Burnt Peanut sees this podcast, we would love to interview you. So
He's only
please,
done one interview, and that was on like the bar something podcast, and it was really
So if you're up for an interview, and we like Arc Raiders too, if you're up for an interview, please reach out to us because we'd love to speak to you because we are big fans.
All right. Most anticipated game, we have 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4.
Okay, so I'm going to be sensible here because for me, my most anticipated game is 007. However, I think that GTA has to win this award.
Yeah. It's going to be like, even when the game comes out and then the awards are later that year, most anticipated is still going to be GTA. It's still going to be. So Jordan. Because I think that the leak would kind of hurt Marvel's Wolverine in terms of because people have that leak in their head of what they think the finished game is going to look like.
Yeah, so the expectations are different.
Yeah,
and I think that I don't think First Light has the pull. I think it does in certain regions. Like in the UK, First Light's going to be a massive game. I would be shocked if it wasn't a massive game in the UK.
And I think Requiem is kind of lukewarm to a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people really interested in anticipating this game, but I think the general media.
And then I think with something like Witcher 4, that's too far off into the future at the moment, where it is highly anticipated, but it's not close enough to be the most highly anticipated.
Yeah. We have best adaptation of here. I think there's only one choice. A Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell, Death Watch, and Until Dawn. Last of Us is going to win this. There's no doubt.
I would be shocked if it doesn't. I will say, if you haven't watched it, Splinter Cell, the animation they did, the animated series, is very good. I
Did
definitely
they get Michael Ironside to voice him?
I don't actually know. I'd have to check the cast. I'm not sure.
All right.
But yeah, the animation's good. Yes, I am Last of Us as well, because as much as I have issues with Last of Us Season 2, I just think it's the one with the widest appeal. And it's a HBO show, and people like giving awards to HBO shows, So yeah.
All right. Best multiplayer, of which there's really only one winner here. Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Ring, Peak, and Split Fiction. It's kind of neat to see Peak here. Because it is not a game that I would expect to have been on here, especially with
because that's the game. That's a kind of game where we have them every year, where they get these viral moments where they blow up because of Twitch streamers and things, and then no one ever remembers
it's like Lethal
them.
Company. It's this year's Lethal Company in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But for me, Arc Raiders.
Yeah, it has to be. Even now. We recorded some Black Ops 7 campaign last night because we'll have more episodes of that we've had on the channel recently, and they'll be going up. I've decided, by the way, this is an announcement for people, episodes of our Black Ops 7 co-op campaign playthrough will go up on the channel at 5 p.m. UK time on a Monday. So that is, I believe, around 10 a.m. for Jeff, because that's about an hour from now for reference.
Yeah.
Of recording time. So yeah, it's around 10 a.m. for Jeff in Canada, and it's like midday if you're on the East Coast in America, or 9 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. So yes, we will have more of those. But even when we were playing that, my point was that I was thinking about, we could be playing Arc Raiders right now. like there was that part of me where I was like, we could be playing Arc Raiders right now. And also, I just want to take a second to shout out the studio, Embark Studios, while we're on the subject of Arc Raiders, because they have continually added to this game. Like, this is live service done right. Like, they've added a new map, they've added new systems, they're constantly giving you reasons to play, and I think it has to be best multiplayer, right? Because ultimately, it's like it's taking on the big boys and it's winning.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Jonathan's playing as well too. We were playing a couple rounds and then the servers went down for the first time.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also Arc Raiders for best multiplayer game, as I imagine everybody else is in the comments. But if you have a different winner for best multiplayer game, please let us know. As Jeff throws Banter's toy.
His little banana peel. Because you're a little banana. Yeah. Or you're a big banana, really. All right. So best sports/racing. We have EA Sports FC26, F125, Mario Kart World, Rematch, and the Joystick Awards Game of the Year nominee, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Sorry, that made me lose my train of thought completely. Oh God! Can you repeat those nominees again? Because you literally did it like you've. Right. I've lost my mind.
EA Sports FC26, F125, Mario Kart World, Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Okay, so I think, having played the majority of these games, except for the Golden Joysticks Game of the Year nominee, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I would say that EA FC26 is probably the winner this year for this category.
Yeah, I mean, despite Joystick Game of the Year nominee, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Yeah, I mean, soccer games have always been kind of that way. And it's also interesting that F125, there's not going to be an F126. They're just going to do a DLC.
Yeah, so they announced that just a couple of days ago, right? And I think that that's a good thing to do in a way, because to be quite frank, and I've reviewed the last couple of F1 games over on the Outer Haven. You can go and check those reviews out, but they've nailed the formula with those games. They understand. They understand how, but because they've nailed it so well, it's really hard for them to innovate.
Yeah.
And so I actually think them taking the year off from a full release and just doing it as a DLC instead allows them to spend a bit more time and then come back the following year with more of a mass overhaul of the game.
So Codemasters is an EA title, all right? So EA essentially is the publisher on this. Do you think that they're going to take a look at how much money they've made on this expansion upgrade and maybe translate it to other sports franchises?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a test of, is the thing that people actually say they want, which is DLC updates instead of a brand new game every time, is that a viable way to do things where we can just have a new major release every 2 to 3 years instead of every year?
Because if they just do a DLC pack for $29.99, and then all of a sudden they're seeing almost 80% of their audience buy into it, as well as maybe new gamers coming in,
because also that DLC pack will have a lower development cost than a brand new game.
Exactly.
Right?
So the ROI might be just massive, where you have the main team then working on F127,
Yes.
and then suddenly it's this big.
So it is going to be interesting to see, and I wouldn't be shocked at all. I agree with you that I wouldn't be shocked at all if this is sort of a tester for them of how does this sort of thing work. But, we'll see. But for now, EA is probably going to win Best Sports Game this year with EAFC 26.
I am going with Joystick's Game of the Year nominee, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Okay.
All right.
What do we have next?
Best Sim/Strategy, and that is Alters, Final Fantasy Tactics, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum. I'm going with Tactics.
Okay, so I want to discuss this one slightly, because I think I'm going to go the same way as you, though I think there's a chance that the Alters could be a surprise winner here.
Yeah. I just for me, the Alter is it had 2 weeks where people were talking about it, and then I didn't hear anything.
That's true, and I do think the advantage for Final Fantasy Tactics is it's a remake of a already beloved game, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'll go with Tactics as well.
All right. Let's see here. I almost kind of want. This is a side and something that we can, discuss further, and I don't know how difficult this would be to do, but if we had it where, say, for example, we couldn't pick the same one as someone else, where we used last year, whoever won the category gets first dibs on that category.
Interesting.
Or that kind of thing.
Or what we do, there's another way of doing it. So we do it like that, where last year's winner gets first choice, but then each category it switches, right? So maybe, for example, if we if we leave the esports categories to the end in future, what we can do is we'll start with, let's just say randomly that it was best performance of the year, right? And we could say, right, Jordan, you won last year, so you get first choice. But then on the next award, which might be best game direction, then Jeff gets first choice because I had first choice on the previous award. There are ways we can talk about doing it for sure, but we're going to have some separation here. So let's continue with the nominees.
So we have Best Family, which is going to be Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Joystick's Game of the Year nominee Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction.
Okay. I am going to go with Mario Kart World.
Okay. I'm going with Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Interesting. This is once again the Nintendo category, although Lego break into it a few times here.
Yeah, twice. Yeah. Okay. We got Best Fighting. Now this one's fucked. Which was the case last year when we had Sifu. Or if it was last year, I can't remember. So Best Fighting. So this is interesting. So we got 2XKO, early access game.
Yeah.
Capcom Fighting Collection 2, a release of old games.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, a release of old games.
Yeah.
Virtual Fighter 5 Revo World Stage, a remake of a remaster or whatever of Virtual Fighter 5. And then we have the only original brand new fighting game nominated, and that is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
And for that reason alone, that is the game that should win. And that's the game that I'm going to go with, because I don't have any touch point for any of these games, because I actually didn't play any of them this year because of the fact that they were re-releases of old games.
Yeah, I played, I reviewed and played Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I played the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 as well. I'm going to download 2XKO so I can play some of that, because I'm a huge fan of the League of Legends characters, not the game, but the characters. So there's that. All right, so we're getting into some of the big awards here. So we've got Best RPG. So this is Avowed, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, The Outer Worlds 2, and Monster Hunter Wilds.
For me, for the sake of being different from what I expect you to choose, I'll go with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Okay. Now, I will say right now that anytime Claire Obscure is nominated, I'm likely going to be picking them.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I normally would, but I know that with the Game Awards, sometimes the jury think, well, we're going to let this game win somewhere else, so maybe we give this subcategory to a different game.
Yeah.
And when I think of best RPG, I think, okay, which of these games actually pushed the genre as a whole forward? And I think that looking back, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be the game that does that more than Claire Obscure. And that's not to take away from Claire Obscure, because I think it's a brilliant game. And I've actually been playing more of it recently, which we'll talk about in a bit. But it's just that thing of what I think makes Claire Obscure special isn't necessarily the RPG aspects, because a lot of what it does in its RPG nature has been done before and isn't new. And while it's really well executed, it's still things we've seen before, right? Whereas Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 offers a quite unique experience for an RPG compared to what we've seen in the past. And I think that if I was voting, that is the game that I would probably vote for in this specific category.
All right. We have Best Action Adventure, and that is Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Hollow Knight, and Split Fiction. Now, do you think, like, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle released after the cutoff for last year, but do you think it still has the pull to kind of come back and win this?
So I'm conflicted, because I think I actually like a lot of the games in this category. And as you know, if you know me, Death Stranding 2 was a massive game for me, right? But I actually think indie should win this category. I think indie is the best overall game in this category. For when you think of what the category is, it just encompasses the whole genre, right? And I think that indie does that the best. However, I do have the same concern of the question you just asked me, is like, is indie too long ago for people to remember how good it actually was? Because there is, whether we like it or not, there is such a thing as recency bias. We all have it, where we have a recency bias to things that we have played more recently, right? It's the same reason that I didn't finish Claire Obscure earlier in the year, because I wanted to make sure that I had it fresh in my mind towards the end of the year. So I'm conflicted, because I do think indie should win here, but I'm actually going to say that Ghost of Yotai wins this category.
All right. So I'm actually going to go with thinking a little bit outside the box here, and that is that Hazelight always has some type of winning entry when it comes to the game years. So I'm going to go with Split Fiction on this one. I think this will be the award that it wins.
Nice.
All right. Best Action Game. I'm already going to write down my nominee here. Best Action is Battlefield 6, Doom: The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I think Hades 2 takes this. I think this is the category that it wins.
Probably, but I mean, I kind of want to be different for the sake of being different, but I know that I'm going to cost myself a point.
Because it won't be, I don't think it'll be Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And I think Doom: The Dark Ages was kind of polarizing in some
it
ways.
wasn't as beloved as the previous Doom games.
Yeah, so like
you know?
Battlefield 6 and Hades 2 for me is where it's kind of sitting there. And Ninja Gaiden 4, it's a great game. I got to finish playing through it, but it didn't have a lot of talk behind it.
Yeah, I agree. For the sake of being different, I'm actually gonna go with Ninja Gaiden 4 because the people that like that game really liked that game. And I just wonder how many of those will actually be on the jury, because the jury makes a huge difference here.
All right, we have Best VR/AR, and that's Alien, Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. I don't know any of these other than Marvel's Deadpool VR.
I know the Deadpool one, and that had some conversation around it, and yes, I don't know any of the others, so I will have to go with Deadpool by default, unfortunately.
Okay, let's... My computer's so old. I don't know what Arcane Age is, but I'm going to go with them.
Okay.
Just because they got VR in the name of their studio, so they've got to know what they're doing.
Fair.
All right, so we have Best Mobile Game. So this is going to be guesses from us. That's Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume, which is the horse girl game, I believe, and Wuthering Waves.
I'm going to go with that one. The one that you said last, Wuthering Waves, because I've actually heard of it, and that suggests that there's some conversation around the game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Persona 5, The Phantom X.
I think that's also a good choice.
All right, so Best Debut Indie Game. We have Blueprints, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Despelate, and Dispatch.
Oh,
so I'm going...
God, I know where you're going, and I get it.
Did I put you under Dispatch?
Yeah, I think so. Because it also has the recency behind it. I think that might sway people. And again, Claire Obscure, I'd absolutely be happy with them winning here. But I do wonder whether the jury will have it in their minds of this game is going to win a lot of other awards later on. So they don't necessarily need to win this one. But we will see.
All right. So we have Best Independent Game. This one's really hard. We have Absalom, Ball Pit, Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
Can I choose all of them?
Yeah. I mean, every single one of them could take it. Now, here's the thing. Ball Pit, I don't think Ball Pit didn't hit with a lot of reviewers, so I don't think that is going to win.
Yeah, and there hasn't actually been much review coverage of it. So I think that it's one that for the people that are voting on these awards, I think Ball Pit has probably gone under the radar a bit.
Yeah, same with Absalom, I think, as well, too.
Yeah.
Blueprints was beloved by a lot of the gaming media. Claire Obscure as well, too. Hades 2 especially.
But so that's what I mean. Like all of the, other than Ball Pit, every single other game on here was beloved by the games media. So
I'm still going to do the clean sweep for Claire Obscure.
Okay.
Even if they don't do it.
I'm gonna go with Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oops, this thing is glitching.
Because I think that game was just waited for so long, and then people seemed to mostly love it when it came out. So
all right, now we have Best Community Support. We have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
I mean, I feel like this is a bit of a weird award when you nominate games that haven't really had much going on this year. Like, what's happened with...
did release on Xbox.
Yeah, yeah. So that was one of the big things. But it's like, what has Baldur's Gate 3 had going on this year, for example? I don't think there have been any content updates that I'm aware of. And I know that that isn't like community support is more than the game itself. It's about events and all these other things as well.
Yeah.
But I think, that might be a good choice. Again, for the sake of being different and just because I'd love to see the reaction, I'm going to go with No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's where I had the cursor on for you. All right, so we have best ongoing game. We have Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. I still think it's going to be Helldivers because I think that Marvel Rivals has started to lose a little steam.
Yeah.
And they just released Helldivers 2 on a new platform, so that kind of reinvigorated it as well.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually going to go with Fortnite though. And the reason for that is because I think the Simpsons thing recently has been getting a lot of traction. So I can see that kind of being in people's minds. So I'm going to go with Fortnite.
All right. We have games for impact. Consume Me, Despelate, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. I'm going to go South of Midnight.
So of the ones I've played, I would actually agree. Yeah, I'd go with South of Midnight as well.
Yeah, because Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, I liked parts of it, but it just didn't come together in the end for me.
I agree.
All right, so we have Innovation in Accessibility. We have Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom the Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight.
So this is genuinely quite hard, but given that sports games don't often get nominated in this category, it suggests to me that people who are doing the nominations have probably picked up on the same thing I've picked up on this year, which is EAFC 26 adds things that make the game so much more playable than it's ever been in the franchise history. And I think that will be awarded, So, I'll go with EAFC 26.
I'm going to go with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I was going to go with South of Midnight, but I'm going to go Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I think that's a good I think that's a good option.
All right. So, best performance. This one's interesting because we have Ben Starr from Claire Obscure, Charlie Cox from Claire Obscure, Jennifer English from Claire Obscure, and then we have Erika Ishii from Ghost of Yotai, Kanatsu Kato, Silent Hill F, Troy Baker of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, here's the thing. I think Troy Baker should win this one because, to me, that's been the best performance. I mean, he nails the Harrison Ford voice.
So I think I kind of agree with you. I don't know if you saw, but I recently put out a post on social media where I talk about the fact that I think that this is actually the hardest category this year. And the reason for that is I think all the performances that are nominated in Claire Obscure are brilliant. I think every single one of these performances is brilliant. But then you've got what I would argue is Troy Baker's best performance in a game of his career. Yeah. However, again, I wonder whether the Troy Baker thing, because it's indie that he's nominated for and not Death Stranding 2, I wonder whether people will sort of forget how good his performance was, or whether it will be deemed as lesser because he's basically impersonating somebody else. But that's what people will think. I actually think there's a bit more to it than that. I'm going to go with... It's really hard. It's really hard. Okay, so I think that this award for me comes down to three people. Okay, and I think it comes down to Troy Baker, Ben Starr, or Charlie Cox. And my reasoning for that is if you've played Clair Obscur, what happens to Charlie Cox's character, I think, is one of the most memorable moments of the year. I think that the fact that it's his first ever video game and that the writing in that game is so strong really helps.
He really loves having celebrities on stage.
And yeah, so that's the other thing I was going to go to is like, it would be because none of the celebrities in games have ever won this award, right? Other than Christopher Judge. But other than that, you've never had like a major celebrity win one of these awards. And Charlie Cox is a pretty big celebrity. Like the guy is, you know, he's going to be in like Avengers. He's I really don't know, but I'm going to go with Charlie Cox. Although I would love Ben Starr to win just to see what he does on the stage. Because I don't know if you saw his Golden Joysticks speech, but he won at the Golden Joysticks. And he came up with a playing card over his head. So it's, yeah, I just love to see what he would do. But I'm going to go with Charlie Cox because I do think that was a brilliant performance.
I think Jennifer English is probably going to win this. But I am still going to go with Troy Baker just because that performance is, to me, like, I'm not a Troy Baker fan. I've never really been. And this was the one role where I'm like, no one else could have done this.
Yeah. Like, I agree. And to be fair, to be clear, I do think that if people remember how good his performance was, I actually do think you will win this point because he was phenomenal as Indy. He was brilliant.
Right. So best audio design, we have Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, and Silent Hill F. I still kind of think that Battlefield 6 is going to take best audio design.
Because it's audio design specifically, it could... I think there's a couple of different options here. So I don't think it... Because it's audio design, right? Which is not really about... Like, it does involve music, but it's more about the way that sound is used. So it's do things sound how they should sound? Is the music, when it's used in an interesting way? All of these different kinds of things. I think you have a very strong pick in terms of Battlefield 6 for the sake of being different. And this is literally for the sake of being different. I'm going to go with Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, that's where I had your cursor. All right. So now we have best score and music leveled up by Spotify. Let me bring my cursor here. So we have Christopher Larkin, Hollow Knight Silksong. He's also done the music for Moonlighter 2. Nice. Darren Korb, Hades 2. Lorianne Testard, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Tomo Otawa for Ghost of Yotai. And Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell for Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. I think it's going to be Clair Obscur. I still think about that song to this day.
I'm caught between two, and I do think I'd be happy with either of these, but I need to discuss it before I make my decision. So, the Clair Obscur, the entire soundtrack is amazing, right? Like,
yeah, it's like 9 hours of bangers.
And it's also the guy's first ever thing, I believe, like in terms of in a game. So that's incredible. At the same time, what they do with the Death Stranding 2 soundtrack and the fact that they've made actual songs specifically for the game, as well as like orchestral score music, And the fact again that Woodkid is a celebrity within the music world, like he's very well known. I'm really torn, and I think you're probably right, but I'm going to go with Death Stranding 2.
Yep, I already got you there. All right. Best art direction. We have Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yotai, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. For me, Claire Obscure is
I agree.
absolutely stunning. It looks so different than anything else.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think when you think of art in video games, it literally is art. Like
well, the world's meant to be a painting, right? So like it literally is art.
Yeah.
And Death Stranding 2 is just like, yeah, sure, it runs on a really nice engine. Rocks look like rocks. Congratulations.
Yeah. And then Ghost of Yotai looks great, but it's more Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't think that's going to capture people the same way it did the first time. So I think Claire Obscure, definitely.
All right. So we got Best Narrative. We got Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2, Ghost of Yotai, and Silent Hill F.
Yeah.
For me, it's Claire Obscure.
So I haven't quite finished Claire Obscure yet. I am much further into it, and I do think the narrative is brilliant. It's hard for me because I haven't finished it. I feel like I can't give it best narrative, even though everything I've played so far probably says that it is. So I'm gonna have to go with Death Stranding 2 again.
Yeah, I already got you there. Holy hell, my computer is running like garbage. All right. Now we have Best Game Direction. Where is my freaking... Nope. Where is my cursor? Holy shit.
The cursor has disappeared.
Well, no, it's just my mouse. I just think that there's something that it's just not doing. All right, so we got Best Game Direction, and that is Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, Hades 2, and Split Fiction. For me, again, clean sweep for Expedition 33.
Yes, I'm just trying to put a light on here, so give me a second. Yes. There we go. I'm back. What was the noms?
Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, Hades 2, and Split Fiction.
I think I have to go with Claire Obscure.
Okay. So I'm gonna use my trackpad here because my mouse is dog shit. Well, it's on the couch as well too, so it's like not always great. Plus, my computer is like chugging a little bit. All right, so that brings us to Game of the Year. So we've got Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And for me, it's still going to be Claire Obscure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it just has to be, right? Like,
yeah, well, it's not Arc Raiders because it's not here.
Yeah, good point.
All right, so I'm going to save this document. Okay. All right, so I'm going to save it actually so as I can save it as Game Awards.
My camera has decided to go out of focus. Give me a second.
All right. So we're going to shut that file down. All right. All right. So that is our nominees our predictions actually for the Game Awards. So
yes,
do stay tuned for the Game Awards. We're going to try and live stream it or at least have a video up for it so you can follow along so that we can watch it. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is kind of a new thing, whether it's something that's released on Game Pass, something that's released on Steam or whatever, and that is release of the week.
Yes.
So today we had a surprise drop of the Silent Hill 2 remake, available on Xbox Series X and S. The nice thing about this release is that the game right now for a period of time is going to be half off.
That's a lot of money off.
Yeah, so it's like I think it's like $47.99 Canadian right now.
Wow,
which is amazing. I already own the game for PS5, so I don't
really
need to buy it, and I think that's going to be the case for a lot of people. But still, I mean, a brand new game that was incredibly well received.
Yes,
releasing at half price is.
Put it this way: if you only have an Xbox and you haven't played this game yet, but you like survival horror type games and you like Silent Hill as a franchise, you should absolutely buy this video game.
Oh, like I almost kind of wish that I didn't buy Silent Hill F at the time, because they've got a bundle right now where you get Silent Hill F and Silent Hill 2 for like $107.99, which is like,
oh wow, that's a good deal.
Or for like $15 or $20 more than I bought Silent Hill F for. I kind of wish there was an upgrade if you had already bought it, but that is a disgusting price. So definitely do go out and buy this game. It's phenomenal.
Fantastic. So we'll keep an eye on every week to see what we think the release of the week is. But there may not always be one, because of course there isn't video game releases every week. So
every single day. Every day, even if it's an asset flip, there's a release every day.
Oh God, yeah, that's true. That is true. But now I believe we're on to what we've been playing, and because we have some footage over here, if I can bring it up, we're going to start with you, Jeff.
Yeah,
and tell people what is this.
Yeah, so Moonlighter 2 is the sequel to, obviously, the first one. And it's a direct sequel. It's not like they've just made a new Moonlighter and new characters and everything. It's that these characters essentially have been... is the video paused? Oh, there.
No, the video is playing. This also, just so people know, is from the channel here, Ruben925. We're using that person's gameplay. We will link it below, as we did in the previous episode.
So basically what it is that you go into these little dungeons, you retrieve relics, and the relics are placed in your bag in certain ways where they can manipulate and affect other things. They can actually even damage other relics if they're next to them. So there's a really neat kind of mechanic where you go in and you buy this stuff, and then you put it up for sale. And clients will come in and... they will determine whether or not a price is too low, and they'll feel like they've just got to steal. They will be disgruntled by the price, saying, "Oh, this is too expensive." I just tell them it's tariffs. And then there's also like where the price is just right, and then it will keep track of that. There's perks that you can get, and you can eventually increase the size of your shop to have like 8 pedestals and like a bunch of like decorations and stuff to make customers feel like more at home. But the bulk of the game is going out into these dungeons, is to retrieve these relics and then bring them back. And now you're doing this based on the fact that you were run out of your home of, I think it's Brnoka, and you and a bunch of other characters in the previous games end up in this new village, and you then encounter the Endless Vault. And the Endless Vault's like, I will share my riches with you if you can achieve certain milestones at your shop, and if you can achieve the final milestone, I will grant you a wish. Excuse me. And the wish essentially is that they can take back Brnoka from the interdimensional collector Moloch, who does make an appearance here. And right now, the early access version has 3 biomes. This is the desert biome. There's one later that's more futuristic, and then another one has like just really nice coloring to it.
I have a question for you, Jeff. If I haven't played the first game, can I just jump into this one?
Yeah, it does a good job at kind of explaining kind of what happened. The first one is available on Game Pass, so it's very easy to digest there. But this game is like, you see a lot of games like indie games where a lot of them will jump from pixels to polygons, and sometimes they don't necessarily work out so well. We saw that with Hyper Light Breaker. And this one here is so charming. It's also got music by Christopher Larkin. So if you like the soundtrack to Hollow Knight Silk Song, the soundtrack here is phenomenal. Combat feels very good. Like it feels very nice. There's 4 basic weapon types that you can get different things from. To kind of like further down that. There's also perks that you'll get right there that kind of go throughout the run to boost your damage, reduce cooldowns, all sorts of stuff. And it feels very, very fun to play. It runs extremely well, even on low-end machines. And it visually, it's really nice. Right now, again, there is only 3 biomes, so you will see far more as the game kind of releases. The requirements for the Endless Vault jump from 10K to 50K and I think 100K. So you eventually have to kind of like master the shop aspects of the game to kind of like figure out where you're getting a lot of your money from, the margins of certain things that will determine kind of what you're picking up over other things. But combat is really good. Like you can roll, you can swing your bag around. There's a gun essentially as well too.
Well, I have to say, based on what I'm seeing here and what you're telling me, I want to play this game.
It is absolutely fantastic. Is the video running smooth for you?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so everybody should be seeing it fine.
Yeah. For me, it's just running at like 5 frames per second or something. It's weird. I think it's just my computer chugging. But no, it is an excellent game. Like they did such a good job taking what was so good about the first Moonlighter and kind of adapting it to 3D now. Like it like the first one, you just kind of went in these Zelda dungeons and then it would just progress to another tile set and so on and so forth. This kind of takes you to like completely nice wide open areas that have a lot of scale to them. The 3D translation works extremely well. And it just feels kind of unique because a lot of the stuff that you can do, like there's shopkeepers as well too that will boost your health, give you more health vials and all that kind of stuff. So there is like a good progression that kind of goes throughout the game. You get different armor. You'll get eventually, like he's using the sword there, but you'll get like you'll start with a broom. You'll go to like a great sword to a sword to like these gauntlets and stuff like that. But no, it's excellent. It's definitely worth jumping into right now, even if you are kind of weary of early access games. But yeah, it is absolutely fantastic and worth jumping in for sure.
Good. I'm just bringing up your second game here. And what is this one, Jeff?
So back in 2009, Sacred 2 released on the Xbox 360, and I was obsessed with this game. It was absolutely phenomenal. It had 4-player online co-op. It had 2-player split-screen co-op. It was one of the first like action RPGs where you could rotate the camera or zoom in. It was just a absolutely phenomenal game that I love to this day. Like it is just an incredible game. And so when they announced the remaster, I was excited because I'm like, okay, this is going to be fantastic because like I get to go through this game again with like updated visuals and all this kind of stuff. And the visual upgrade is so absolutely minor. There's barely anything that's kind of been done to this game. It's a little sharper, sure. I will say the menu, so they mentioned that there was going to be controller support. Well, there was controller support on the Xbox 360 version. They had completely different menus that worked extremely well with the controller. Here, you have the same kind of menu structure as like the PC, where it feels it's very mouse-driven. And the controller support on this game is so bad that some items in your inventory cannot be accessed until you sell other items next to it, so that the way that it moves through the blocks can actually activate and select the item.
Wow.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this game has a lot of really deep systems and mechanics There's literally no tutorials. There's no guides on anything. You literally have to like look up like a wiki to figure out even how to even activate and use certain systems. So it's not new player friendly. And like remasters do a few things. They either build on nostalgia and they have the old people come back and play, or they bring it to modern systems so people can actually still play it. Or they try to attract a new audience and kind of capture that same spark. I don't think it does anything here. And the worst thing about it is the console versions have had their multiplayer scrapped. So there's no co-op, there's no online play. And now that stuff might come eventually, but I would assume only if this game does good. And right now it's just getting completely tanked in reviews. I think it's one of the worst remasters I've played in a very long time.
Wow. Wow.
It doesn't feel like much effort was really put into this. The new UI is absolutely garbage. The combat still, like, we put up a lot in 2009. You know, we didn't know where the industry was going, so we put up with a lot of shit. But like, the combat feels so weightless. It feels like you're just swinging around a bunch of pool noodles. Like, it just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like there's weight. Like, like if you could slash at an enemy 50 times and you're gonna hit him maybe 7 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, it is such a weird game. Like, I like how you can zoom in and play it through that way, so it looks almost like this like RuneScape kind of thing. But yeah, it is an absolutely travesty of a remaster. And like, the review is going to be coming out shortly after we record this episode. And I think I've settled on like a 4 out of 10. It is
wow. Okay. So yeah, it's not a good.
Poor. It is an absolutely poor game. And it sucks because I absolutely love Sacred 2. And like, I've had a lot of glitches and crashes and bugs and stuff. Like, I have a glitch right now, which actually works out in my favor. Every single shopkeeper in the store has been duplicated. They have a clone next to them and they offer different things. So it's like I can browse 2 different shops.
That's an amazing glitch.
Yeah, and they didn't even do anything to kind of further along certain characters' storylines, because you can play a light or dark campaign depending on who you pick, and some can be both, some can be only one or the other. But when you pick like the high elf and you go dark campaign, you have this little fight, this little skirmish of like a school class where they're like teaching spells and stuff, and you end up killing one of the students. And the guy's like, "I should have never have taught you," and then you kill him, and that's the entire opening for the high elf in the dark campaign. There's no incentive to kind of progress and go forward. You just kind of have this like, well, I guess I'll continue my quests with absolutely no storyline. It's
so weird.
Yeah, see, like I love Sacred 2. Like, I love that game to death. But this remaster is just not it.
Yeah, that's very, it's always disappointing when a remaster doesn't come together, but it does happen from time to time, unfortunately. But it's
yeah, like, this deserved a full remake. Like, we take a look at like Gothic 4 that's coming out, I think, and that's a complete remake of that game.
Yeah. I'm just about to bring up your other game here, so give me a second.
Yeah.
And then we can tell people what it is. And again, all of this gameplay will be linked below from the channels that we got it from, so please check them out.
Yeah. So I recently got code for Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2. Now we have a review for 2 up on the website through our time with the PC version back when it came out. But this game has now come to Xbox consoles, which is huge considering we haven't seen a lot of older Capcom games kind of getting released on the platform, just because of a lot of the infrastructure that was very hard to program for Xbox, which is why we saw Marvel vs. Capcom Collection release later. So Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a remaster of the 3DS game. And you can definitely feel it, that it feels very limited in kind of what it can do, but I loved Monster Hunter Stories 2. And this is the first game of that series. And we have the third one that's going to be coming out in early January, February. So we will likely be covering that. And this game is just super fun. It's got voice acting, which is the original 3DS version did not have. and it's got a lot of charm to it. It definitely feels limited compared to the second game, but again, you're going from completely different hardware to completely different hardware. But basically, you play a little hunter. You basically go on your quests to find monster dens so that you can find eggs, and then you bring them back and you hatch them, and that's how you get your monsties. And it uses all the characters and all the monsters from the Monster Hunter series. So, like for example, you start the game with a Ratha, and then an event happens where a Nakaruga causes your Ratha to fall into the abyss below, and you're going to get them later, obviously. But so you kind of start out with certain, like he's going to get a Monstie egg right now. So he's just kind of going around the first monster den. Some monster dens will actually have a monster where you'll have to like fight and defeat them. So he's got an egg. So now he's going to, he's browsing till he gets the egg that he wants. Some eggs will like shine or shimmer, I believe. And then you basically take that egg back to the exit. So right now the mother is kind of like hovering around, so they're going to try and stealth around them right there. But it's super fun. Like it is an incredibly charming game. It's got a lot going for it in terms of that aspect of it. But the nice thing about it is the voice acting is really good. It plays to what it needs to, and it's if you have a kid watching you play Monster Hunter, and it's just a little too violent, a little too difficult, you could put them on this and they would get kind of that same approach because you're going on monster hunts. You're doing the same kind of thing.
I was gonna say that this does. I've never played one of these games. Like I played Monster Hunter, obviously, but I've never played one of these.
Yeah,
and it does look a lot more sort of child and family friendly.
Yeah, like it does some pretty good stuff. There is like some little issues that are obviously because of the 3DS, like the camera control is it starts with that thing where like if you turn it, it's good, but if you hold it, it turns then more. Like it's got that.
Yeah, okay, thing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So basically what it is it's like a rock, paper, scissors thing when you're fighting them. So some enemies will have speed, some will have technical, and some will have power. So if you know that something's limber and moving around, it's speed, so that you would hit it essentially with like a power attack or whatever, and then technical would take over power. I can't remember the exact thing, but it is a rock, paper, scissors. It is the same kind of like Fire Emblem kind of thing. And then eventually you can get on your Monstie, and then you can do like team up attacks and all sorts of stuff. It's excellent. Like they really do a good job at bringing the 3DS game to this remaster. Now this remaster has been on PC and PS4 or 5, whatever, for like the last year and some, but it's just come to Xbox in the last like week or two.
Yes.
So it's definitely worth checking out. There is a pack. You can get both games. I strongly suggest getting the pack because you will like Monster Hunter Stories. You will love Monster Hunter Stories too.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because it just feels like a much better game. Like there's the power attack that you're doing against that bear. Like it's excellent. Like they do such a good job with this game. It feels fun to play. It looks charming and cute. You get to create what your character looks like, and then you have like a rival with the character who like lost his mom in the attack of the Nakaruga, and he's like, I'm going to become a rider to kill that Nakaruga kind of vibe.
So it's basically Pokemon, but in the Monster Hunter world.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this is the type of game that series that can feel threatened if Nintendo gets their way with that what is it? Copyright,
like
I guess.
Collecting monsters thing, right?
Yeah, and then having them fight for you. Like it's a mechanic that's not theirs. And this does a really good job. Like this does have that Pokemon vibe to it, where you're collecting different monsties and stuff like that. Like you're not throwing a ball and capturing. You're getting an egg, taking it back, performing a ritual, and then the egg hatch, and then you're
yeah. So, I mean, it looks good. I don't know if it's something that I'll play. I might if I can pick it up at a decent price, but it does look good. I will give it that. In truth, I haven't played that much this week, really. obviously, we've been playing some Black Ops 7, which we've recorded, and I do need to edit our previous recordings slightly because we're new at this Let's Play stuff and we're still figuring it out. But hopefully they'll get better as we do more of them. If you haven't seen episode 1 already, it's available on the YouTube channel now. And I have created a special playlist for it as well, and all of the episodes will go in there. I've been enjoying that, and then if I check my Steam, I can tell you what else I've been playing. Just give me a moment. I have been playing. Let's see what's on here. I
think this.
So, as I mentioned before, I have gone back to Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The game is brilliant. If you haven't played it already, but you like turn-based games, I would absolutely suggest playing it. If you don't really like turn-based games, but you like a good story and good visuals and brilliant music, then maybe watch someone play it on a playthrough or something like that.
The thing I'll kind of disagree is, like, if you don't like turn-based games, this is the one to convert you, because it feels like a fighting game where, like, every attack that you perform or every attack that comes at you, you can kind of parry or block or deal that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's a bit more active, right?
You're taking your turn and then there's nothing you can do to manipulate it. If you like games like the Mario and Luigi games or Paper Mario games, where, like, when you attack, if you hit a button, it'll do a better attack. Or when you're getting attacked and you hit a button, it'll deflect or block it. This game is super dynamic and super active, that I know people that hate turn-based games but have loved this game because it doesn't just babysit and kind of feel like it's on autopilot. You have a lot of potential of changing how the encounters work based off your interactions during the turn-based stuff. So
yeah, nice. Well, I'm also going to show you, I haven't played this yet, but I did pick up a game in the Steam sale yesterday, which I'm going to try and show you right now, because let's just say Jeff will be very happy.
Yeah. And I will allow it for your game of the year.
But so I picked up Stellar Blade because it's on a decent sale right now on Steam. So I am gonna play that soon. I've kind of got a few other things that I need to do as we sort of start to wind down here towards the end of the year, and we do go on a little break. We'll still be doing the podcast mostly, but you might see some less stuff on the website in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I'll also be tossing some stuff out because I'm going to be doing a Monster Hunter Stories review that's going to be coming out. I got code for Total Chaos, which has also hit Game Pass, so I'm going to be working on that.
Nice.
Yeah. And then,
so you have some stuff coming up. I also have some stuff coming up because I am going to be, as I mentioned before, reviewing Dispatch. That should be coming hopefully within the next few days. Certainly a week at most. It will be up on the website by this time next week. I also have a review of Black Ops 7 that I'm working on for our friends at the Outer Haven. And then I'm going to turn my attention to reviewing a couple more things that I picked up recently as well. Like the Double Fine game, which their name escapes me right now. The Lighthouse one, you know the one I mean.
Yeah. And the review for Sacred 2 is going to be going out today. So when we're recording, I'm also going to be putting the review out for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which has probably my favorite moment in the entire Zelda franchise. And it's just because they put a perfect piece of music at the exact moment it needs it. And I just got chills. It was so freaking good.
Yeah. We should probably also mention that we're going to be putting a gift guide out on the website soon, right, Jeff?
Yeah, so we're going to be putting a bunch of selections for things that we feel that are just good gifts. This can be like consoles or services or even like PC accessories, controllers, games, board games. I've got a board game one in there as well, too. Yeah. and that's going to be coming out probably within like a week or so.
Yes, yeah, definitely. With it being the sell season and the holiday season right now, we know that many of you might be thinking, what can you get for your kids or what can you get for your family members? And we'll have some suggestions for you. And because we have a bigger team now, we've all sort of got some things that we're going to put in on this one. So it should be quite a varied list. I know that, for example, we're going to have some keyboard, like a keyboard's going to be on there, a mouse is going to be on there. We got some games on there. As Jeff said, there's going to be a board game.
And the mouse is so good that you can spill beer on it and it still works. That's what I've been told by Kelvin. So.
And yeah, so we're gonna have some interesting things coming up. Like I said, there will be more reviews and things on the website as well. I believe that we're also going to add a preview section to the website soon.
So that's going to be where we're going to be kind of putting a lot of our early access stuff in there. So we're going to avoid putting them into the review area. So it's just going to be preview stuff. So this is also going to allow us to kind of talk about some of the demos that hit Steam Neck Fest.
And also allow us to do more actual previews of video games, which is going to allow us to do more coverage. Because there's always demos out. I know that Kelvin played one recently, right? There's a demo that Kelvin played and
Operation
wrote about.
The 25-minute long demo.
Yeah, so there's going to be some really interesting things coming up on the site. I am still going to be covering The Last Caretaker at some point, but I'm waiting for a couple more patches before I cover that because it is in early access, and I want to make sure I'm getting it into a situation
Calvin's
where it's
working on a review for us, which once the embargo kind of hits, we can talk about it. But the game was so absolutely broken that his save files were unusable. And
really? Wow.
We reached out to the developer, the PR through the developer to find out. And they said, hey, can you send us your save files? Let's figure out what's going on because like most of the stuff was in a different language. It wasn't even translated. So he had no idea where to go in half the stuff. And the saves were just crashing whenever he entered a major city.
Yeah.
And the save files, we sent them out, and then the developer, the PR guy, he replied saying, hey, Kelvin, thank you very much for sending the save files. This is the exact data we need to fix this particular issue. You will see it updated in 2 days on the latest patch. And Kelvin went back into playing the game, and it fully functions now.
Wow, that's brilliant. Yeah. That's brilliant. So they were able to fix it.
Yeah, his save files have essentially made the game better.
Nice. That's really good. I like it when things like that happen.
We'll reveal next week what game that is.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure we will. But I also want to say that another game that we will probably stream at some point, we just haven't had time yet because we're busy, but I will also be covering for review by the end of the year, is Power Wash Simulator 2.
Yeah, it's been one that's just kind of like fallen in the cracks, much like the dirt that you clean.
Yes.
But I haven't had a chance to play it. And that was the one game that when we went to play it with another friend, we discovered that Xbox had removed the ability that game share does not
game sharing, right?
Xbox Live over anymore. They've removed that capability, which is dog shit.
Yeah, it is, because also, do you know the worst thing about that? And this will be our final little news story here. Bonus news story for you. So now you, as Jeff just says, you cannot carry over Xbox Live functionality when you are game sharing with somebody. But for families, that is awful. Because what if you've got 2 kids that want to play on Xbox, Jeff, and they want to play something together, right? And they can share.
And we're taking a look at like G2A keys because it's cheaper. Like we can get a month of Xbox Live Basic for like $9.
Wow. Yeah, it's a real shame, and I think that
like if they had the family plan. If they have the family plan where so right now it's like $40 a month for Ultimate. If it was like $50 a month for Ultimate and it had a family share plan between like 3 consoles or whatever, that'd be great.
Definitely. But I think that's it for this week's episode. Of course, as always, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Make sure you go and check out our Black Ops 7 co-op campaign gameplay. There are some hilarious moments in it. Like, I apparently am a flying squirrel.
I keep seeing this flying squirrel, and he keeps shooting bullets too for us. I don't know who he is. There's no way to
tell. So yeah, we'll have another episode of that coming up on Monday, as I said, at 5 p.m. UK time, which is 10 p.m. if you're where Jeff is, over in Canada, near Calgary.
One episode where we got to play as a whole new team, which were vastly more interesting despite having no character build-up.
Yes, yeah, which is actually hilarious. That is hilarious. But yes, I've enjoyed playing through it. Definitely have issues with the campaign, which we sort of discuss in parts of the episode. So make sure that we don't talk too much while we're playing, because we want you to be able to see what's going on and appreciate what's going on. But we have a little discussion here and there about the game, and we ended on a really strange boss fight last night when we recorded, and you'll see that in a few weeks' time, because that should be the 4th episode of what you see. And then I think we've got a few more hours to record, so we probably have a couple more episodes on top of that.
It'll probably be like 6 parts.
Yeah. So we'll, like I said, we'll get those out on a Monday, 5 p.m. UK time every week. So that's something for you to look forward to on the channel as well. And we will do more Let's Play things in the future, and we'll get better at them. And as we do more, we'll add in more editing and that kind of thing. Right now, it's mostly raw. Like I'm going to edit little bits and pieces of our recording that we just did, but that first episode that you see is fully unedited raw recording, because we wanted you to see our first impression as it was and as we were playing it. So as Jeff figured out that you can play in third person.
Yeah, except it keeps turning it off every single time you go into a new level. But like the third person just feels so good. My only complaint is that you can't switch shoulders while you're moving or doing anything. You have to stand exactly still. Yeah,
that's so weird. That is so weird, because I played in third person a little bit during the second episode, which you'll see coming on Monday. And it is interesting. Like, I like it, but it is weird that you can't change shoulder while you're moving. It's so strange. Mm-hmm. It's a massive oversight in my opinion. But yes, please look forward to that. As I say, we'll have more live streams coming up at some point. We'll try and live stream the Game Awards if we can. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me. Thank you very much for tuning in.
See you guys.